Okay, can you get me started, please? Latrell.
2x times x. Making 2x to the second power. That'd be 2x times 8. 8 is 16. 16, 16. X. Negative 4 times x. Minus 4x. And 4 times x. 32. Look, positive.
Okay, stop right there. Talia? Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have 2x squared. We're gonna have minus 12x.
Nope.
Oh, 28
Uh-huh.
plus 32.
If the signs are the same, add them and keep the sign. Done. Keyword product means multiply. You know me, I prefer the claw. You could have also used let's do these rapid fire. Tony, what's the vertex? How'd you know that the x value was 4? You somehow graphed this in the calculator? That's cool. You can do that. You could have saved yourself some time and just looked at it. If this is negative, you take it and you make it positive. If it's positive, you would take it and make it negative. Where's the 0 come from, though? Yeah, what number means nothing? 0. So the y value is 0. You know, if it said plus 2 right here, then you would put 2. So this one you keep the same, whatever it is, you keep it. This one is the one that you take the opposite. Instead of negative 4, we put positive 4. Of course, you also could have graphed it and found your vertex that way. Okay, Janisha, max or min? Where? Good. So we're on to axis of symmetry. Just 4? There you go. So at x equals 4, which is a straight up and down line, you know, you could flip the graph and it would be the same. And Loriana, describe that graph for me. What is it?
Graph is compression of
What kind of shape is it? Parabola. Okay, cool. Compressed parabola. It opens down. Okay, good. Take your warm up, set it aside, look at today's notes. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, and 1. Convert each equation to standard form. What is standard form, Delarante?
AX squared plus BX plus C
That's it.
equals 2.
Good. And the key here for our purposes right now is this last part. So in other words, you might summarize and say, take everything, put it on one side, and on the other side it should say equals 0. Let's do 7 together. Excuse me, 6 together. I can't zoom in with this computer, can I? Nope. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with negative 8x, and the opposite of negative 8x is positive 8x on both sides. On the right-hand side, they cancel, and I just have equals negative 12 left over there. On the left-hand side, I'm going to combine like terms. So 7x squared is by himself. 7x squared. 7x, can you combine that? Yes. You can combine 7 and 8x. They're both positive, so that makes 15x. Okay, just one more thing to do the opposite of here, and that is this negative 12. And so on the right-hand side, it says equals 0, which is what we wanted. On the left-hand side, once again, combine like terms. 7x squared is by himself. 15x is by himself. And 12 is the only constant, so he is by himself also. And that's it. Make the equation equal 0. Yep, Jeff.
We're gonna go like number 2 or something like that.
Number 2, very simple. All you would do is that on both sides. Coach Matisse. Yes, ma'am. Here she comes. Janisha. Main office. I'll be right back. That makes sense, Jay? Subtract 27 from both sides. Why? Because I just want to get rid of whatever's on the right-hand side. So this would be 3x squared minus 27 equals 0. That's it. You know, eventually I'll be real mean and I'll say find the GCF and then factor it all out. Tell me the zeros. Tell me the roots. All that stuff. First day back, so I'm being nice. Too nice, probably. Okay. All right, now look down at number 11. And let's read these directions carefully. We always need to read. And in fact, I realize this is something that y'all really need to practice. All of my students from last year are going to Mr. Bigger's pre-calculus class. And he says that they're not reading the directions. They can't just look at basic directions, read it, and do what it says. So that's obviously my fault. I got to make sure you can do that. Okay, so if the function can be solved by graphing, list these and the factors. So it looks like we got like a 2 or 3 step process here. To solve it by graphing, I have to do this stuff that I was doing up here. So first I'm going to make it equal 0. Number 11. Let's take a look. Well, subtract 2r from both sides first. Ooh. If you want to, you can. If you want to, you can. No problem. Let's do that. Kind of ambidextrous. Yeah, you can go right to left or left to right. Doesn't matter. As long as one side of the equation says equals 0. So those are going to cancel and you'll have 0. Okay, and then you've got negative 4r squared. 2r, is that positive or negative? Yeah, okay, good. Yep. Plus 56. You know, me, I like that. That's easier, more efficient. All right, let's go ahead and graph it. Yes, ma'am.
I put negative 4 r squared and make it gonna be wrong.
So if you said 2r plus 56 minus 4r squared, it's not in descending order, but your calculator will still understand it. So, is it wrong? I don't know. Let you decide. Okay. So, standard form. Now let's graph it. Okay. And what was that equation? Negative 4. I can't put r squared, can I? I have to put squared. What was it? Plus 2r? 2x plus 56. Okay. Okay. So, this worksheet probably should have clear directions, because the zeros are going to be the same no matter what, but the parabola could open up or down depending on which way you do the problem. So if we do it JJ's way, it's going to point downward. If we would have done it my way, it would point upward. The answers are still the same. You would still get the same zeros and the same factors.
You mean both our ways right?
Kind of. Is it creating the same parabola? No. So that means that the direction should be clear. The directions should say move everything to the left or move everything to the right. But we'll be fine because we'll still get the same zeros or roots. To find those, menu trace, graph trace. And I'll go to the left first. How do you know you're going the right way? That's an interesting question. Okay. Right here is my y value. And if that number is getting smaller, it means I'm getting closer to the x-axis. If it's getting bigger, it means I'm getting further away from the x-axis. So if I was getting bigger, that would be bad. There we go. Okay. So my first zero is what? Negative 3.5. Oops, not x equals. Okay. Back. My calculator goes a little bit faster than yours. And I'm coming back around. My other zero is 4. Okay. So we found the zeros or solutions or roots. You can call those any number of things. You can call it the zeros, you can call them the solutions, you can also call them the roots. And the last thing we need to do is find the factors. Well, finding the factors is really, really, really easy. All you do is take and draw your parentheses, put in your r's, and the factors come from the roots. So do you remember when we would factor a trinomial and we would get x minus 7 times x minus 4? And I would say, right, x minus 7 equals 0, or x minus 4 equals 0. What would the answer be here? 7, and the answer down here would be 4. So notice the relationship here. to get the factor, I take the answer and do what to the sign? Flip it. So if the answer is positive, then the factor is negative. If the answer was negative, then the factor should be positive. So we can apply that rule now and just say R plus 3.5. And our other factor would be R minus 4. Not bad, not bad, not bad. So kind of a three-step process. Make it equal to 0, graph it, and find the factors, find the zeros. And last but not least, write your factors. So a good first day back, nothing too crazy, nothing too complex. Some good practice. Questions? That's all. Some of y'all were already halfway done with the worksheet before we started the warm-up. Okay, now, if you have questions, if you get stuck, here I am. Once again, if you would like to know your grade and you don't already have your end grade, come see me today after school. I will give you your end grade. You can know what your grade is for the first 9 weeks. All right. If it was me, I would do 11 through 22 right now because they require a calculator. The rest of the worksheet, you don't need a calculator to do. Diversion best. no real zeros.
Okay.
And you get to the ones that don't cross the x-axis, and there are no real zeros. Those will be imaginary. You would use the quadratic formula to find those. Is the y value getting bigger or smaller?
What'd you say?
Are you going right or left?
I ain't right.
So you're going to the right, you're going that way? Okay. Are you going up or down? You're going up? Okay, so the y value should be getting, it's negative and it should be getting smaller.
Yeah, it's mine.
Okay, keep going then. It's going to cross that x-axis. Let me see your calculator. You're going to the right, you said? Okay, so the y value, yeah, it's getting smaller again? What are you talking about? down and it's got a minimum right there at 0.5, 2.5. Does it ever cross the x-axis? No.